We'll get started with the Parks and Rec Committee meeting for Thursday, June 20th, 2024. Please note that these meetings are being broadcast and recorded. Recordings will be made available on the town's YouTube channel. I'd like to welcome Ella Flynn, sitting in for Jessica tonight, and Aaron from the pool, who's going to give us a little presentation. I would ask anybody that has a pecuniary interest to please declare it at that time. Aaron, you're up.
Okay, so I'll just go over how registration went first. So on June 3rd, we opened registration to residents, and we had the phone ringing like right off the bat. We were pretty busy, and like when we're on the phone, it starts like beeping, so you know there's somebody else on the line, so we're trying to get through them as fast as possible. Having an additional line would help reduce the chaos and increase our ability to help more people at once. There were a few people reaching out to us who had error messages. Either their payment didn't go through or they were not listed as a resident despite living in Plympton-Wyoming. This was sometimes resolved by changing the automatic determination and manually choosing resident. We had one class, it must have changed on the program at some point, so it was listed at the wrong time. We had a few minor complaints, but most people were forgiving for this mishap. There were a lot of emails. We tried to answer them in a timely manner, but had multiple people working on registration for walk-ins and calls, so it wasn't possible all the time. We also had a number of people wanting to switch classes. For example, from preschool B to preschool C, we were unsure of a more simpler or direct way. So we were booking, like we were withdrawing them from a class, giving them an account credit and then booking a new class, which is fine, but it's just a pain to do it over and over again. We're looking at offering all of our privates filled up like almost immediately. I don't think there are too many non-residents that have privates. We're looking at offering an additional instructor for evening privates, but it's not really possible to do that for evening group lessons, despite many people requesting that on Facebook. I think if we had an additional junior guard for next year, then it would make it a lot easier, since all of our junior guards are already working between 20 and 30 hours a week. Sometimes they're working even more. And then June 6th, we had registration for non-residents, which was significantly less busy, but still had a few bumps in the road, but easily fixed. Session 1, I would say, is the busiest session, with swimmer 1 and 2 being the most popular classes, and then preschool A, B, the most popular preschool classes. And then in terms of the pool, we had the health inspection yesterday. The inspection itself went by smoothly. In the morning, we were kind of fiddling around with our chlorinator to make sure we had our chlorine in range, and we added a few chemicals to make sure everything else was in range. So yeah, that was smooth. And then this year we purchased some new equipment, just poles, since the fiberglass was disintegrating, some new buoys, the ropes were disintegrating, some new rescue hooks, and then we had to get a new controller for the chlorinator. Took us a bit longer to get the pool ready and swimmable, but we got there.
Cool. Anybody have any questions? Do you have a total number of kids in there?
Not right now. Like, there's still kids.
Still coming? Okay. Go ahead, Nick.
How many are handling the registration? Like when you say you could use more than one phone, or is it just one person on one phone all the time, or?
Well, there's me and then the two deck leads are helping me out. So there's 3 people on
Oh,
registration.
okay, but just with one phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Could use Al's.
Although it wasn't working, right? The phone line?
No, I don't think it was.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to install it, but
Okay, thank you very much. If you wanna run out, you can. I'm pretty sure it's gonna get exciting. Thank you. Take care. Okay, next up, let's go with Kamlaki Ball. You got anything to bring forth?
I sure do.
And you can go. Great.
Rob Shortreed, current president of Kamlaki Athletic Association. So this year we've had a very robust ball program. We've had instructional, we have ladies ball, we have U9 girls, U11 girls, U13 girls, U15 girls, U17 girls playing on the fields. And then on the boys' side, we have 2 U9 teams, 2 U11 teams, U13 team, a U15 team, and a U18 team. So the ball diamonds are really, really busy. And then we have all our rentals as well. We have People's Church coming in for the better part of most of Tuesday. And then we have a ladies 2-pitch league going on. And then of course we have the 2-pitch league in the on the summer on Sundays. Lakeshore Diamond is also busy. We've got it rented on Friday nights for a 2-pitch league as well. So this year, Kamlaki has undertaken a major project with the diamonds themselves. We went out and put quotes forward to a couple of diamond contractors. And then in the end, we went with True Field and actually had to redo and resize and reshape all the diamonds. That being said, Lakeshore is absolutely gorgeous. We had a problem with the weeds encroaching into the playing area. It is pebble or soft stone there, so it was quite easy to kind of get raked up, turned over, and then resized and lined and everything. Diamond number 1 was in better shape than the other 2 diamonds. It took very little time to regrade, resize, and then put in clay. Diamond 2 was basically the same thing. They had to resize and reshape and then add more clay. The major undertaking was Diamond 3, which is the back diamond across from the museum. It took a better part of a day and a half to kind of get that organized, just because of the weeds and everything kind of encroaching. So Kamlaki did put out a fair bit of money to get that sorted out. So that being said, I have an ask that you kind of can have the quote and in payment, and we'd kind of like to put our yearly monies towards that diamond fix up. Okay, so I've got a small package for each of you if you wish. If I could approach and hand that out. So sure.
Why would you have to re-measure these diamonds? Like, aren't they the same all year? Did they change rules?
So they changed, oops, sorry. They changed because of the way the shape of the grass encroaches into
Oh, okay.
the clay. The pictures tell a better story than I do.
It's a great story.
So yeah, it was all dug out.
Yeah, yeah, look at.
And the pictures there. How would you want to copy that? Sure, if you don't mind. So you just scroll through the pictures there on the photographer, so if you have any questions there. But like I said, pictures tell 1,000 words, so. You know, you get a couple into it, you can see that the tractor's kind of scraping the mud back and basically they're just. Not reshaping it, but putting it back to the normal shape that the diamond should be in. And then there was a bunch of clay that we had to purchase and lay in. And then,
Do you not have, why did he dump it on the, like, now the whole area of that parking lot's orange?
correct, so we had to kind of do it there because we had that, the best access was there. The diamond 1, diamond 2, we didn't touch, I think Jen called Al. Called you, okay, about putting it in the back. And that was kind of, you know, we didn't want to do that, and I can kind of agree that that would have been even more of a mess in the back, so. Not to make light of the situation, we are going to clean that up, we just, the diamonds just got kind of fixed, so we'd only been on them for the last week with the new surfaces, so. It won't stay like that, we have a project in place that we've got some volunteer people that are gonna come in and burn off some hours to help get that looked after.
Okay, you know, it's messy and.
Yes, 100%, I agree with you, yep. But if you just kind of look beyond that little piece of the corner, the diamonds are, they're immaculate, they're really nice to look at this year, and we've had nothing but positive reviews on them.
Only on our,
Wyoming.
I say, on our.
So the bill is 12,007.
Yes. Yes.
What do you want to
That's for that, yeah, that's, we'd like to use our portion of the, your portion of the allocation towards the total.
Questions? I think it's perfect for what the money's there for.
Yes.
Like,
Did they pay for this?
Yeah, have you made the payment yet, or are we, or?
So the treasurer had, because the Truefield needed the money and the trucking contract and the clay people needed their money. So it'd be, you're basically reimbursing Ken Lackey for the funds.
anybody want to make a motion for that? Need a motion for that?
me as well? Eh?
Yeah, that's clear direction.
You got a motion writing. Over.
The motion.
What you gotta do, or
Here, she'll write it. She'll tell you you're doing.
okay,
Clerk and Nettie's a deputy clerk.
CAA.
Oh, dear. This thing. Oh, it's really good. You guys did a good job on that.
CAA being reimbursed $5,000 towards the diamond expenses. Of capital.
Capital contribution.
Second by Mr. Bougen.
Yeah, sure.
Good.
I just did.
Loud enough they can hear it.
Oh, did you not hear me?
I have a motion from Betty McEwen, seconded by Alex, that the CAA be reimbursed $5,000 towards the diamond expenses from their capital contributions. All in favor? Opposed? Gary, thank you very much.
Thank you. The second thing I have is, I need some help, need some clarification.
Money, so.
Oh, I know, I know. It's regarding the hydro situation. So we've got our hydro bills coming in here. There's a discrepancy between the amounts owed and what we added up that we think is owed. And we also have two sets of bills, one for the community center and one for the ball diamond. So I guess we're asking is, which one is which and what would you like to do?
Take the cheaper one.
Okay,
Well, like if you got,
so so for instance, February was addressed to the ball diamond was $42. The community center was for the same pay period was 32. Then it gets into March, which basically doubled. It was $81.53. But there's nobody there. Like we're not using any power, like there was nobody in the shops or the garages. Compared to, say, if we move forward and look at May, which when we were there and actively trying to get the ball diamonds opened up, it was at $48 again. So we're just don't know why that.
meant or something.
Just doubled up, maybe we didn't pay it or.
Did they actually read the meter or did they do estimates?
I'm not sure.
I don't think we can figure that out now anyway, so if you want to leave your bill with us.
Yeah, it looks like, well, maybe that 81 was kind of doubled because we didn't
Maybe they could.
make the payment. Maybe that's what it was. But again, it's in the middle of winter kind of thing. And the other one here is community center, but they're being sent to us. And I don't know if that's the Optimus building or,
Soon.
yeah,
Can you leave those?
I can leave them with,
Copies or?
these are copies, yep. Leave them with you. or-
No, I'm sure. That's mine. We'll get it straightened out.
Okay, perfect.
I'm guessing the $30 is your privilege to having hydro for the winter that you don't use.
It would be,
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Okay,
Just line, what do they got? Line charge or something?
yeah, just for having access to it, yeah.
right,
The privilege of using it. We'll look into it.
okay,
Right.
all right, let us know.
How many kids you got so far?
I'll have to get back to you on that one. It's a pile. The instructional, there's about 50 kids in the instructional. And then each team has about anywhere, a minimum number is 9, but they're well above that. They're anywhere from 12 to 15 is the cutoff, right? So.
And if you'd get us that, just.
Yep.
Report it to council.
Sure.
That's the stuff they like to hear.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Anybody got any questions? Very good. Very good.
Thank you very much.
All right. Moving on. So we're at 4. For the minutes. Everybody got a copy of the minutes, had a chance to review them. We have a motion here by Teresa, seconded by Alex, that the regular Parks and Recreation Committee meeting minutes for May 16th be adopted by the committee. Anybody say anything wrong with them? I didn't. All in favor? Thank you.
Can I ask a question about them though now that we've passed? Because I just wondered why the Parks Committee approved 3 smaller tents for the Lakeshore Community Church to have their function at Lakeshore.
Mhm.
Park, provided they're taken down each day. But why could they not leave them up overnight?
Yeah, through the chair, they're just simple, like 10 by 10.
Those things.
Yeah,
But they
tents,
could-
just,
they just couldn't leave them up?
they could be vandalized or something.
Oh, I see.
Sure.
All right. I just wondered. Thank you.
Thank you. Where we at? Business rising from previous meeting. Verbal update on the cost of adding pickleball lines and netting at Endowment Park. Verbal update on the park's task sheet, so here you go.
Start. So we were asked at the last meeting to get some pricing to put pickleball nets and lines at the Mandamin Park. So I'm happy to say that our good friends at Petrolia are willing to demo their line painting machine for us, so we can actually paint the lines for free. So we appreciate that, and we'll have to return the favor at some point. The cost to install permanent nets there with the post and the net is $740, plus a little bit of staff time to actually install the posts. If we want to go with a portable option, we can get that for $300. My concern would be that it moves around and it could be damaged quite easily.
Posts is, Dennis?
That's a smaller, tighter
Yeah.
net. We could look at using the existing posts. This is to put in new posts specific for pickleball and a pickleball net.
So we could have,
But if you had a longer pickleball net, it's right, not the net itself, but I suppose.
We could probably repurpose like a tennis net, but just it'd be shorter.
I think we try that until we see how it's gonna be used.
no, that's right. But with you borrowing Petrolia stuff, you're saving $847.
Mhm.
That's how much it costs to line the McKay Park.
Yes.
Well, I think it's amazing. Great, so we can afford to buy that for them.
Okay, Alex.
The only reason I'm leaning to the portable one is, I'm trying to find the map. Is that court on the property line of that neighboring house? Like, it's pretty much on the property line, isn't it?
The fence, the west fence shares the property line.
And so did this request for pickleball come from that house? Or I can't remember where this, was there a formal request?
No, we just suggested it.
Yeah.
And yeah, pickleball inquired. It's a league or what it is, but
Cause my fear is it's on the property line, we put in permanent. And that complaint comes through, cause it is getting used a lot, and there's been precedents set in other municipalities. With on a property line. I'm just concerned,
Save problem in the future.
and so if it is an issue with that property owner. For the noise related to pickleball, where that presence been set on a property line. If it's portable, we can move it. And use it for pickleball inside a facility, for example.
go ahead, Teresa.
I was just gonna ask, is out of courtesy, are we gonna inform the people that butt onto this? That this is a possibility of it happening, that they're gonna put pickleball lines and then net in there?
We can certainly inform them. It is a multi-use sports court. There's basketball nets there now. It's painted for basketball, so there's obviously noise associated with that. That park is historically very underutilized, so I think this came up as an opportunity to, get people to the park and to use it for a different purpose. But we could certainly have that conversation with the neighbors.
Perfect.
Only what, three, one on each side and one behind? The neighbors, there's not that
All
many,
properties, maybe 5 in that area, yeah.
like the ones initially right around, there's not a lot.
Just that one, it's right
just
at
the-
the garage.
The only issue I see is if that one where it's on the property, just based on what's happened in other places, if it's on the property line. That property owner could,
It will certainly avoid a problem.
Okay, what do you think? We go ahead and try it, have him reach out anyway?
And I suggest that we paint lines, talk to the residents first, paint the lines, and then order a portable one. We could absorb that in the operating budget.
So let's say that neighbor doesn't like it, doesn't want it. What are we gonna do then?
We could bring that back to the committee.
Put a wall up.
is there a way to do temporary lines too? Like, do people do temporary courts inside community centers, for example?
Yep.
So I guess that could be an option. If we get the portable one
There,
and there's a big issue and we think it's gonna proceed to where other places have gone to, we can then utilize an indoor facility like that if there's a way to do portable lines. That way it's not going to waste.
Like that?
like look into like temporary markings? Is that?
Like if it doesn't work in this
Okay.
location, but if it's portable, we have that option to still use the. We spent $300 on it, so we can still use it inside the Kimberley Community Center for people.
But they were only about 150. No, because they have them at the United Church, they use them there, the portable ones, and that's what they quoted, but that could be so. Just think so.
I guess that's my next question was. There's no, are they secured in any way? I guess that's the other, that's the contrary opinion, right? It's-
Because then they might get some use somewhere else.
Because we don't lock that door out. Obviously, no, we don't. So that's the other guy on my shoulder talking now. As I'm thinking about it.
So what's he decided?
I don't know. Thinking chair.
I like the portable thing, but I like the idea that we could also use it. Someone brought that to me, why don't we put like 3 quarts in there in summer when it ain't rented? Air conditioned,
Mhm.
doesn't bother anybody because it's indoors. And I don't know how big
Yeah.
they're, but so they just don't damage the floor.
Mm.
Do we just go that route then? Is that safer?
Except that. You know, the portable ones,
It didn't to be used inside.
right,
I know we're getting away from the park.
yeah.
Why don't we get them
Well, I
painted?
feel like- yeah.
Get a set of. Like saying, if it's an issue, then it's something we can
Okay.
explore down the road. Or we could do both, even next year, we buy another 2 sets if it's. They're holding up and we'll try the Kamlaki.
It would be nice to let the people out there know what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, sure,
We can do that.
Okay, let's do that.
because I think they're noisy. I hear they're noisy.
Hmm.
I hear they're noisy.
I think we're pretty loud. Yeah.
It's easier than basketball, but I've heard.
I think they might be.
I think it's more consistent.
Quicker.
Paddles. You know, with the hard ball, yeah. Anyway,
Okay, we need a motion for that or just go ahead?
I think it would probably depend on the outcome of talking to the residents, so I would think maybe
Leave it into Paul's hands to,
then maybe report back.
yeah, if it doesn't, then. Yeah, but if he reports back before he buys them, it's gonna be August.
Yeah.
So I would say. If the neighbor's favorable, then go ahead and.
Okay, yeah, for $300, it's well within our purchasing ability, so I don't think we need a motion, we'll just
Okay.
take that direction.
Okay. What was the other one? Verbal update on the parks task sheet. This saying that I can't read. How are we making out on it?
Making headway on it. The Devonshire fence issue with all the supported fence, that's been removed. The neighbor has built a brand new fence along there. Well, that's cleaned up.
that's a good job, Al.
It's on the list. We purchased the material for the Windcliff upper section. But we're gonna have to dig that out, re-level it. It's from the slope sliding. From the inspection, so we have to rebuild that top section there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We dig that down. Heard back from Blue Imp today that they're scheduled right now for our Plum Park and O'Brien Park for the 15th and 17th of July. We've installed or put in locates so we can do the excavation and prepare for them. And at that time, we will be purchasing more engineered wood fiber to update some of our other parks that we had on the list, the Canton Park. I think there was a few that we had to top up. We had to do the swing set at Reddick, so that's on that list for that fiber. We purchased some epoxy material to repair the crack at the Canton Park Pavilion. Paul and I today were discussing a little bit about the electrical issues at it and McKay Park, which I'll address tomorrow. Take a look at them both.
Anybody else have any questions? Go ahead,
I'm
Alex.
just looking at this closer after that delegation. Are they getting two bills because one's for the outbuilding and one's for the ball diamond? That's what's going on. And it's just listed different on their bill. I'm just seeing here that there's two billed to CAA. Hydro at Arnold Neely outbuilding and Hydro at Arnold Neely ball diamond. So I'm wondering if that's what their two bills are.
Yeah, there very well could be 2 meters there.
And then that, maybe it's just named community center on their bill. Or
Very well could be. Yeah, we'll look into that
We'll get
tomorrow.
this gonna- So there should be really 3
Mhm.
bills going.
Yeah, we pay the CCC bill.
Go ahead, Teresa, sir.
The lights on the timer for Blue Point Park, that's never been on the list, so I was just wondering where that stands at the moment.
I apologize, Teresa, I just haven't contacted the electrician to get that taken care of for you. So, I'll put that on the list here. Here.
Thank you, Teresa. Anybody else? Moving on. Accounts payable, 6.1. We got a motion by Alex, seconded by Teresa, that the accounts as listed be received by Parks and Rec Committee for May 2024. Any questions on those?
that's where I was looking at when I talked about Hydro. I was one item ahead. No one called me out, so I appreciate that.
I had a question about A&W locks you see there's a repair and then right under it. Electric strike and then right under it, there's electric strike again, but it's 2 different dates. And that's what it's costing us for the kids booting in the door every night. $500 a boot. What else? Okay, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Yeah, imagine. Next one. That the report submitted by Paul De Silva, Director of Public Works, dated June 13th, 2024, regarding the video surveillance policy be endorsed by the Parks and Rec Committee and forwarded to council for final approval. Go ahead, Alex. You're Alex.
Oh.
I'm so used to breathing.
Yeah, so what you guys see before you is just a video surveillance policy so that we can implement surveillance throughout the town, not just for parks. Special thanks to Ella, who actually drafted this, did some research on what everyone else, other municipalities had and put this together for you guys. So here to answer any questions you might have. Essentially, this covers the why we're doing it, the how we're doing it, and the where. We had to have a policy in place that set kind of like the guidelines for when we would use this and how we would protect people's personal information, that we wouldn't, where there's an expectation of privacy, for example, like people's backyards, that we would be deliberate and not pointing cameras towards those private spaces. So this covers a lot of stuff like that. Who can access it from staff?
So it all started with them kicking the door in across the street, so we want to put a camera up on the corner of the building. To catch whoever's doing that, but then as it rolls out, like I said, we can put it. Wherever we're finding vandalism, it's something we could utilize, so. The only question I had is 3-day storage enough? Can we increase that? So if it's a remote somewhere, would we get to it in 3 days, or does it all come back here? Thinking like a
Yeah.
trail cam, even if we put one of those up somewhere that. Somewhere I read it.
Yeah, it's in there. I know what you're talking about. I think it's under retention. And I think it might be in conformance with our own retention policies, but I'd have to. Look into that.
That was from the municipality that we, begged and borrowed this from. That was their retention. And it probably has to do with storage and the cost of storage. So obviously, the longer you keep, the more storage you need. So we can change it. It could impact.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, say if something got damaged on a Friday. You come in on Monday, or don't get to it till Tuesday, we've lost the footage. That's all
Yeah,
that was
well,
my thought on it.
when I also reached out to municipality to ask them what they were doing, and their retention period was 3 days as well. But I agree, maybe 3 days isn't enough, specifically in the case of like long weekends where you might have a holiday Monday and we might not know until Tuesday, so we probably, 5 days, would that be reasonable?
I don't think it hurts to say 5, and then the next point says we can pull it mainly for 30, so.
Yeah.
I'm fine with 5.
You else have any questions on it? Any concerns? Any great ideas, Nettie?
No, I think it's about time.
Get something.
Yeah. We need this.
Yeah.
Well, I think this lock across the street probably cost us
Yeah.
$5,000. Not to mention what it costs to put it in, but it's the
Easily.
last 2 years is, well, $500 a boot.
So-
Sure, go ahead.
Can I add to that? Once this is endorsed, we'll take it to council hopefully for the July 10th meeting, and then I'll start putting together some packages in terms of cameras, because there are a ton of options depending on how sophisticated we want to get. And I think it's important to go with something that has auditing, because we want to know who's accessing it, right? And we want to have a timestamp of those things. So I will be preparing another report that kind of lays out all of the options for that, and hopefully have that for the August meeting.
Yeah, it's gotta be good enough for a night. It's gotta be good enough to see who it is that's doing it.
Mhm.
You know? A blurry image doesn't do anything. Okay, so I have a motion by Alex, seconded by Nettie, that the report submitted by Paul De Silva, Director of Public Works, dated June 13th, 2024, regarding the video surveillance policy be endorsed by Parks and Rec Committee and forwarded on to council. All in favor?
As amended. You guys change the.
As amended? As amended to 5-day storage. Is that a yes or a question? All in favor? Good, thank you. Committee reports. Blue Point, Teresa. Your lights are on.
And I can't properly look at the slope with the waterfront because of my knee, so I didn't know if how important that is for me to be able to do that part of it or look at it from up above instead of going down the slope or.
Add it to his. Are you the right of ways?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Take a look next time.
Until I find out what's happening, okay.
Kim Ball, we just heard from. How about Highland Glen? Teresa, Nettie.
Yeah, there's a cut tree on beach. I didn't see anywhere where one needed to be cut, actually, so. And it's perfect in there, like,
Well, there today, even though the water was really rough.
so it's fine there.
I have a question on. Go ahead.
The tree that they're talking about is the one on the west beach down with the blue stairs. One fell off the bluff. and
Oh,
kind of
okay.
blocks
All right. All right.
West, south beach.
You're on that. Ask for a report on how our boat ramp fees are going. To date, we have taken in $2,275. I think season pass wise, we have 8 in total. So. The one thing that's not here is enforcement. Have we fined anybody for not having? You know, Ella?
I
No, this isn't your.
I don't believe.
Does anybody know?
we have.
So-
Bylaw enforcement has been asked to go out there on weekends. I don't think they're patrolling that actively during the week, but certainly on the weekends, and I do not believe any fines have been laid at this point, but I can follow up with them on that.
Could you please, because it's no sense charging these people when everybody else is using it for free. And as I keep saying, if they're not gonna pay for it, they're not gonna have it, so. It's not fair to the guys that are playing by the rules and everybody else is too cheap to pay $15, so they can drive to Grand Bend to put their boat in the water. That's all I have to say about that. Lakeshore right of ways.
The ones I went to look good and I haven't heard anything from the other ones, and I'll check out the other one later.
Perfect, thank you. Lakeshore, Lamerickton Park, Dean Thomas. Good, everything's good there,
There's no complaints.
no complaints. McEwen Park, Dean and Nettie,
Yeah, there's a big tree laying there, but you
you
know
can
what?
go in there for free,
The gate's open. You drive in.
named after you, isn't it?
Well, no, it isn't. That's a park down here. That one up there's a.
That's the crooked street.
Yeah, yeah. But it looks good. You know, there's a tree laying there or half a tree laying there. I'm sure it'll get cleaned up. Anybody runs
Have a
in.
tree lane.
What's that?
We just have a tree lane. Just outside the gate.
No, all the way in, just at the edge of the parking lot.
It's gone.
Pardon?
It's gone.
When to go?
Is that the big branches? that
This
they-
morning?
I don't know, a couple days ago, I was down there with my
That's a
tractor.
great big, half a tree laying there.
I took them out.
They fall down every day.
Yeah. It was there this morning.
Yeah,
That's
I had the contractor in grinding the stump in McEwen Park. We noticed a branch that was falling out of a poplar tree. I asked them to pull it up to the parking lot so we could get to it eventually when we
That's
went
the
that way.
one.
So that's the one she seen.
Someone.
I'm done.
Okay.
McKay Park,
Whatever.
Mike Thompson, any issues there? No, thank you. Wyoming Ball, I have not heard a whisper from them. They were invited to come again tonight, and they say they haven't been here, so they must be happy. Wyoming Trail, Mike Thompson. Everybody noticed we now have a
Buddy.
porta potty that we.
Yeah. I was gonna ask about it when we went through the bills and then
Now,
on the way in, you see this one
I was
standing.
gonna give somebody, I was gonna give somebody crap for spending our money without telling us, but it was us that asked for it.
Yes.
That's a good job. The top parts,
I haven't seen nothing wrong with anything, like, nothing outstanding.
new business. Wants to speak to the boat launch etiquette signs that have been added to Highland Glen. I guess it's kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah. They have not been installed yet. We received them and they will be installed shortly. Two signs at Island Glen.
Boat launch etiquette signs have been added.
I think when the agenda was created, she anticipated that they would have already been installed.
Secondly, we have Special Events Committee has a request for 2 family season passes for the Wyoming pool to be given away at their Canada Day event. $189 each.
Did we do season passes last year or was it just one swim?
I didn't think it was seasons.
I don't think it was
No.
seasons last year.
That's a pretty big one.
What do you think? Doesn't really cost us anything. Doesn't really cost us anything.
And just for background, it's for, they do a giveaway as part of the Canada Day event promotions. Give them out as a prize, just to help promote the event in Canada Day festivities.
What do you think? No, different.
Can you look up what we did last year? Would you know? I don't remember doing a seasons pass last year. I thought it was maybe for
Pass,
a
no.
weekend or.
Well, let's see if I can pull it.
Okay, while you're doing that, let's get the grant application update.
So unfortunately, Jess, no, I apologize. Jess had this information, but unfortunately she's not here today, so we'll have to give that update at a later date. I don't.
So we did not get it.
No, this is for this Canada Summer Jobs. The other grant that, the Ontario Trillium Foundation seed grant that we're applying to do a Parks and Rec master plan for is 99% done and will be submitted on time by next Wednesday.
That was the one I was. Anybody have anything to add to new business while we're waiting on Alex?
I guess it's new.
Looking at you.
Yeah, I see you looking at me. I'm trying to word this in my mind.
Politically, right.
Yeah.
Would you like me to start on the other side?
No,
Okay.
no, I can do this. June 6th, I sent an email, actually to you, Paul, asking if maybe the weeds could be, or I did the weeding at the Kamlaki Community Center. And could they please bring some cover up, you know, because now it's a mess with the black stuff that prevents the weeds and everything like that. And it is now the 20th, and it hasn't been done yet. You did indicate that it would take a couple of weeks to get it done, but I think 6 and 14 is 20.
Today's 20.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks
Did
already.
it this morning.
But you know, like the thistle, just, let me show you how tall the thistle was, this high. So.
Tree,
huh?
that's a
That's a
tree.
tree, yeah, I had to pull really hard. So, you know, could this be done a little bit sooner? It's the middle of June. If somebody goes, we rent that place out for weddings. Somebody goes in there and wants to have a wedding there and all they see is all these weeds laying around here. Yeah, it's a turn off right from the start. So can we do anything about this?
Defend yourself.
Chair, yeah, no, and I'm not making any excuses. We did lose our grass cutting contractor, so we did have all hands on deck cutting grass. We have a new contractor that just started this week. So we are gonna put some emphasis into our facilities and cleaning them up. You may have noticed that the library across the street looks very, very nice now because we went there and weeded it. As well as some other improvements. We will be getting to the Kamlaki Community Center here shortly
And the museum,
and the museum.
because it did it when D-Day anniversary was on. There's another milkweed to this high, you know, like really.
Those are for the monarch butterflies. It's neutralization.
I didn't see one monarch butterfly around there. They looked at all the artillery laying around and they said, no, thanks. Anyway, sorry, but I found it disgusting. Okay.
2 family day passes.
Oh, okay. Is that what we did last time? That's what we did last.
Family Day. What'd you say?
It was 2 family day passes. Is there such thing
Not
as
seasons.
Is there such thing as a
Yeah.
day pass for families? Is that a thing? That's what it sounds like that was last year. 2 of those.
That's what sounds like maybe we did, not seasons pass.
Yeah, we didn't do seasons. We just did a day pass for a family. 2 of them.
So why don't we, can we not do that again or offer that instead of seasons?
I think the ask was basically the same as last year. So there just might have been confusion between the terminology because I think the committee just asked for the same thing as last year.
Okay.
So we can tell them we'd be happy to supply the same as last year.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything under new business?
I do. If you don't mind. Okay, sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a request come in just today to plant 2 white oak trees in Blue Point Park, the lake side of the park, in memory of Bert and Dorothy Dodds. There's already quite a few trees in that area, but I think we probably could find a few spots. The committee was agreeable. 2 white oak trees.
Certainly. That's right beside where they lived, isn't it?
Is it?
I'll look for that.
I have no issues.
Oh, sounds good.
That
That
junction.
gets lost a lot too, so it's good to have more trees in there.
That'll be done under your direction.
Who will? And then on a bigger note, we did have a rather serious inquiry just come in regarding a food truck in Lakeshore Park. The company is at this time called All Fried Up. She's still going through her business licensing. It's gonna be mostly, you know, fries, burgers, hot dogs, stuff like that. She's serious. It just happened 2 days ago, so I didn't have time to formalize an agreement to bring here for endorsement. But if the committee is okay with that, I'll continue to work with her and bring it to council for final approval.
You know, she's planning to use hydro or generator.
I do not know that right now. There is hydro available at the park,
Fee wise,
$3,000. I circulated some images of the trailer. It's a nice looking trailer.
there's already hydro there that more than what she needs.
I'm sure if it's more than what you need, but there is hydro there.
Wyoming here, like, you know, we had to put lines and stuff in, like, that's different, but that's great if there's enough hydro there to take care of it.
It's mostly run with propane, this one.
The only thing I have under new business is I asked, Christine about, soccer and ball hockey. She's the one that does it here in town. That currently they have about 200 in both programs that she does. So they don't really get mentioned a whole lot here, but yes, there's another 400 kids doing something. I saw the ball hockey. They wouldn't be as high as this table going down the other day, and there was a slew of them. So they'd all be 4, maybe. Well, game. That's all I got. Al, anything?
I wanna, Donna there that there's, an outlet that was put on the building there last year during the, renovations to the building. To supply a food truck of sort or anything for events that are going on, but that's.
Because they do have a 1-day event out there. You know, I forget when it was, because our daughter Jennifer, she's going out there for that. We've been doing that for like 3 years now. Good.
All right. Anybody else got anything exciting? Alex wants to get home, change the baby. I got a motion by Nettie, seconded by Alex, that the Parks and Rec Committee meeting be adjourned. The next regular meeting be August 15th. All right? Yeah, we don't do one, do it. All in favor?